Hi, my name is Ashley, and I'm from Texas. My sister Jeannie and I are in our senior year. Jeannie and I love each other, but it all changed when my obsession with a boy got between us. Ashley, watch out! It's coming right at you! My best friend Holly shouted. I turned to see a giant raging bull charging right at our lemonade stand at the farmer's market. Before I could react, strong arms grabbed me and dragged me out of the way as the bull charged past me into a wooden fence. Are you all right? I opened my eyes at the unfamiliar voice. The most handsome boy I'd ever seen was staring down at me. You saved me. He offered his hand and pulled me to my feet. Oh my God, Ash! That beast almost killed you! Holly interrupted us with her annoying high-pitched voice. Ugh, talk about bad timing. Not now, Holly. Couldn't she see I was talking to my Prince Charming? I turned to continue my conversation with him, but he was gone. I walked around the market, hoping to bump into him, but I never saw him again. A few days later, I left for summer camp, but I never forgot my mystery savior. Who was he? Want to know what happened and if I finally found him? Keep watching. When I got home from summer camp, Jeannie wouldn't shut up about her new boyfriend, Mark. She said that he was new in town and would be transferring to our school that year. We were getting off the school bus when she pointed at a fancy sports car in the parking lot. Look, there he is. The car door opened and you wouldn't believe who walked out. It was my Prince Charming. I dropped all my books and ran towards him. I threw my arms around him and almost tackled him to the ground. I can't believe it's you. I've been looking all over for you. He looked confused for a minute before he finally recognized me. You're the girl from the market. Yes, my name is Ashley, and yours? Ashley? Mark? What's happening here? Did Jeannie just call him Mark? Mark as in her boyfriend Mark? Please tell me this is a joke. How could you do this? Do what? As if you don't know. Mark is the guy I've been talking about all summer. You stole him from me. I'm sorry, what's going on? Ever since you saved me from that crazy bull, I haven't stopped thinking about you. I looked everywhere for you, but somehow Jeannie found you first and made you her boyfriend. Ashley, I had no idea Mark was the same guy you've been looking for. You have to believe me. Obviously, you have to break up with him. Wait, what? Why? Because knowing you're with him hurts my feelings. What about my feelings? I like him, you know, but I like him too. Don't be ridiculous, you barely know him. I've been with him all summer. We were making a scene, but I was too angry to care. Just then, Jeannie's phone rang. She answered and listened briefly, then turned to me. We need to go back home now. Grandma is critically ill. Our grandma lived with us. She'd been in and out of hospital for months, and we knew she didn't have much time. We arrived home and went straight to her room. Grandma, can you hear me? It's me, Jeannie. Although she didn't open her eyes, she lifted her bony hand and touched Jeannie's face. Oh, Jeannie, you always were my favorite grandchild. I have something for you. Please check under the bed. I was hurt. Why wasn't I her favorite grandchild? Jeannie knelt next to the bed and pulled out a metal box. She opened it and took out a tiny glass bottle with brown liquid inside it. Grandma, what's this? Many years ago, a witch put a curse on all the women in our family, born and unborn. She cursed us to never find true love. Grandma coughed for a few seconds, then continued. That bottle contains the only potion that can undo that curse. Take it and guard it when you find a boy you like. Drink it, then kiss him. He will have eyes only for you. But what about me? Don't you have a potion for me too? Grandma didn't respond. She looked like she was fast asleep. But how? She was just talking a minute ago. I grabbed Grandma and started to shake her. Ashley, stop! You're hurting her! I was enraged. I knew Jeannie was going to use that potion on Mark. It's not fair! It's not fair! But I was too late. Grandma had already passed. A few days after Grandma's funeral, I was in my room when I saw something through my window. It was Jeannie, and she was climbing the huge tree in our backyard. Was she insane? I ran outside, and when I got to the tree, Jeannie was already high up on one of its branches. What on earth are you doing? I must have startled her because she slipped and almost came tumbling down. She gripped the tree branch, steadying herself. I was still looking up at her when something fell and hit my face. Ouch, did you just throw a rock at me? I'm on a tree. Where could I get a rock up here? You tell me, you're the crazy one climbing a tree like a cat. You're the crazy one obsessed with my boyfriend. Jeannie was climbing down the tree, fast. I bent to pick the rock to throw it back at her, but it wasn't a rock. It was the tiny bottle with Grandma's potion inside it. Jeannie must have dropped it while trying to hide it in the tree. Obviously, she didn't trust me and was trying to hide it somewhere so I couldn't get it. My hands trembled slightly as I held it in my hands. "Give that back!" Jeannie was on the ground now and running towards me. This was it. I opened the bottle, closed my eyes, and gulped down the disgusting liquid. It tasted horrible, but I didn't care. I'd drink anything, including dirty dishwater, if it meant Mark would love me forever. No! Jeannie dived and snatched the bottle from my hands, but it was too late. She stared at the empty bottle and fell to her knees, sobbing. When the school bus arrived a few minutes later, I ran and got on it. I had a boy to kiss and make mine forever. I stood nervously in the school parking lot waiting for Mark. The moment I saw him getting out of his fancy car, I walked to him, put my arms around him, and kissed him. "Ashley?" Just then, we heard tires screeching. Mom's car was approaching us fast. It stopped right in front of us, missing us by a few inches. Jeannie stepped out, looking like she was ready to explode. "You kissed him, didn't you?" Jeannie pointed an accusing finger at me. There was no use lying now. So what if I did? It's too late. Mark is mine forever. "You're so evil!" Jeannie started to attack me, but what Mark said next scared us both. "Help me, please! I can't see!" Jeannie rushed to his side and waved a hand in front of his eyes. "Oh my God, Ashley, you blinded him!" "What are you talking about?" Mark turned to me and looked directly at me. I don't understand. I can see you, Ashley, but I can't see Jeannie. What was going on?" "He will have eyes for only you." "Huh?" "That's what Grandma said when she gave me that potion, remember? In fact, those were her final words." I thought that meant he'd love only me. I never expected it to mean he'd become blind to everyone else. Literally. This was certainly not what I signed up for. I took a few steps back from Mark. "I'm sorry, I have to go. Please don't leave me, my sweet Ashley." Why was he talking like that? "You're the only one I see. You're stuck with me forever, my sweet Ashley." Oh dear, what had I done? "So you can't see anything at all?" "Nothing. Just you, my sweet Ashley." "So what do we do now?" "You stay with me, of course. You and I can never be apart." "What about school?" "You will pick me up every day." "But how will you read and write?" "You'll do it for me, of course. We'll be together forever." I was stuck with him all day. I wrote all his notes and carried his books to all his classes. I didn't know how much longer I could take it. Jeannie was ignoring me, and the one time I managed to talk to her, she called me selfish and evil. I drove him home. His parents were away, so he asked me to make dinner for him and walk his dog Peggy. It was getting late, so I told Mark I needed to leave, but he wouldn't let me go. "You can't leave me in this big house. What if I need something? Who will get it for me?" I called Jeannie and told her I'd be sleeping over at Mark's. She said, "Fine," then hung up on me. Mark and I settled on the couch. I put on a movie, but of course, he couldn't see it. After a few minutes, he said that he was bored. "Please stop watching the movie and entertain me." I was about to protest, but I remembered that it was my fault he couldn't see the movie. "Sure, tell me what you need me to do." "Well, since Peggy is asleep, I need you to bark like her." Surely he was joking. Are you serious? "Yes, Peggy's bark always soothes me. I need that right now. Being blind is really stressful, you know?" Again, I felt really guilty, so guess what I did? I started to bark like Mark's dog. I thought I saw Mark trying not to laugh, but he hid his face quickly. He made me bark for an hour. The following morning, getting Mark ready for school was so difficult. I made him breakfast, then he made me feed it to him. Then he asked me to clean the kitchen and his room. He also had a mountain of laundry, and he requested I do that too. By the time we got to school, I was exhausted. We walked into class, me looking like I hadn't slept in days, and Mark as handsome and clean as ever. He wore dark glasses, and that attracted a lot of curious glances. We were in history class when the door burst open and a woman ran straight to Mark. She hugged him tightly and started to cry so loudly. "Oh my God, Mark, what happened? The principal just called us. You're blind? Why didn't you tell us?" "It's fine, Mom. Ashley is taking care of me." "Come, I'm taking you to the hospital now." She took his hand and pulled him to his feet. "I don't need a hospital, Mom. I don't want to see anyone but Ashley for the rest of my life. I love her and she loves me." Okay, that was enough. Well, about that, I'm not sure I love you, Mark. I thought I did, but I don't think I can do this. Sorry. "But you blinded me." I looked around and saw the shock on everyone's face. "I didn't mean to." I confessed to everything I did. From Grandma's tale to drinking the potion to kissing Mark so he could be mine and not Jeannie's. You selfish girl! My son is blind because of you! I'll gouge your eyes out! Mark's mom pounced on me. Mr. Clark, our history teacher, rushed to my aid and dragged her off me. That's when I heard it. Uncontrollable and hysterical laughter. I turned to see Mark laughing so hard he was literally rolling on the floor. And guess who else was laughing? Jeannie! I can't believe you fell for it! I don't understand. What's so funny? There's no such thing as a love potion. Grandma had dementia, and most of what she said made no sense. Whatever you drank was some herb she boiled years ago for her tummy problems. I watched as Mark took off his glasses. He was not blind. I was going to kill them both. You lied to me? Do you know the things he made me do for him? He made me bark like a dog. The whole class burst out laughing. Even Mr. Clark laughed. I hid my face in embarrassment. Well, this has been quite entertaining, but we need to get back to our seats now. Mrs. Perez, I'm sorry your son scared you. Kids are like that sometimes. Please go home. Your son is fine. Mark's mom smiled with relief and left. I went back to my seat and was overcome with sadness. Am I ever going to find a boyfriend like my sister has? I guess I'll have to wait and see. As for Mark, I am done fighting for him.